Too late. Joining us now, a father of three boys, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds, back with us. Congressman, good to have you back on. So apparently, Operation Fly formula. So we've got enough formula for 500,000 baby bottles. It just arrived in Indianapolis, Indiana yesterday from Europe. It was flown on a military cargo plane. Amazing how the military operates, the logistics, they've got it down. Why wasn't this done, say, 3 months ago?
Well, first, it's good to be back with you. The reason why this wasn't done 3 months ago is because, once again, Joe Biden has failed to realize that there was a crisis in the United States until it was too late. That's what happened here. The White House wasn't talking about baby formula. It wasn't until mothers were showing up on CNN and Fox News and Newsmax that all of a sudden there was a crisis that must be handled. The FDA shut down its plant 6 months ago, 8 months ago now. Where was the strategy to continue the supply chain for formula production? One thing I'll say of note, at the height of the COVID pandemic, everybody was concerned about PPE. Everybody was concerned about reopening the economy. One thing nobody ever talked about was supply chain management, because Donald Trump and his White House made sure that the supply chains into the United States were not disrupted. They moved heaven and earth. Nobody ever talked about it. We have a president who has no plans, no strategies. So it seems like from week to week, month to month, there are key products that are not hitting the shelves in the United States. That's at the fault of Joe Biden.
Yeah, the administration is completely reactionary. They're not proactive. And here we are. We're talking about babies and baby formula. You're a dad. And I'll tell you what, I had my daughter, our firstborn. We had to go through several formulas before we figured out what was best for her. Think how scary this is for parents out there. Now, the administration was doing victory laps yesterday when these cargo planes landed. This only addresses 15% of the overall volume that our country needs. So it begs the question, why are we relying on foreign countries for baby formula?
Well, a couple things. Number one, this should not be a victory lap. If you have enough formula for 500,000 bottles, guess what? That'll last 500,000 babies for a day, maybe two. Little babies have formula 2-3 times a day. So this is just something. It's like releasing from the strategic oil preserve. Sounds good, not going to fix the problem. The reason why we're having to rely on European countries is, number one, the FDA has regulations that are frankly way too high. This formula is safe for babies around the world. So that's why we're getting this in now. This is actually a bill we passed out of Congress the other day that would allow for WIC to pay for European formula. So this is something that can be done. But number two, the reason why they're having to take this victory lap is because the FDA still does not have a strategy for how they're going to get the Abbott Labs, a production facility, open. But the only reason why we have 3-4 companies that make this stuff is because the FDA regulations are so high. Only 4 companies can get into the business.
Yeah, Congressman, I love that you brought up the strategic oil reserves, by the way. So we've depleted them. All right, they're at like 30% capacity right now. And is that really helping any of the gas prices out there? A new all-time high today, $4.60 a gallon. So that, to your point, did absolutely nothing. I want to talk about Title 42 for just a moment. A federal judge in Louisiana blocking the administration from ending Title 42 today. How big a win is this for our national security?
Oh, this is a huge win because, once again, Joe Biden was going to create a crisis with no strategy of how to actually manage it. This is actually a great thing. The court did the absolute right thing. Folks, the United States is not prepared to take on this many illegal immigrants into the United States. We do not have the capacity. We do not have the hospital system. We do not have the schools for these children to actually go get educated. This will be a disaster for the country. This federal judge did the absolute right thing. Secondarily, let's be very clear. The Biden administration is not following immigration law. They have probably the most loose leaning of asylum ever in American history, which is frankly no rule for asylum, no definition for asylum. It's just show up and we'll process you.
Yeah.
It is a joke. It's a travesty. This federal judge did the right thing.
And it's never been as bad as it is right now. The DOJ is appealing that ruling. Congressman Byron Donalds, thanks so much for being on with us this morning. We appreciate it. Good to see you.